Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Dog is sleeping on the couch right now. Yeah, like I said in last week's video, I'm not home. And so I watched the finale at my parents' house. And so I am here in the basement, lit from above, as you can see. And so, yes, just watched the series finale of The Flash. I'm just going to put it on there as series finale review, also known as A New World Part 4 finale, which is what I thought it was going to be when I'm trying to figure out what they're going to call it. So lots to talk about with this finale. Now, it wasn't entirely as I predicted, because I said it was like the first half hour was going to be stuff, and then the last was just going to be wrapping up stuff. It was more like the first 40 minutes was the battle. They took a decent time on the final fight, and then like the last 20 minutes or so was wrap up stuff. So yeah, I don't think there was any cameos in this that weren't already known, and if you didn't know, then you were like desperately trying not to find out any spoilers at all, and just ignoring stuff, because there's a lot of stuff going. He knew certain things. Like, it was even hinted at that if you couldn't guess last week when they showed the crystal and it showed Thawne, Zoom, Godspeed, and Savitar, that they were coming back. Yay! Savitar, my least favorite villain on the show. When he was Savitar, he was fine, and when they revealed who he was. But anyway, they don't show him out of the suit, but it shocked me. They actually got, you had Teddy Sears, you had whoever the actor was that played Godspeed, and you had, obviously, Tom Cavanaugh was going to be involved with the finale in some way, shape, or form. So they're there. You didn't have Grant Gustin playing double here. It's just they had Tobin Bell doing the voice of Savitar, and they got Tony Todd back to do the voice of Zoom. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, it basically starts out with Barry comes back, and immediately when he comes back, he's like, I gotta go to the hospital. I'm like, didn't you just say that the timeline is breaking? I gotta go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the hospital with my wife who's pregnant. I understand that she's pregnant, but you just said the timeline's in danger at the end of the last episode, and now. But Thawne, technically Thawne, Eddie, Cobalt Blue, recruits the other villains, and it's very confusing, and I feel like Eric Wallace is full of shit, because he says that the Thawne in this is the Thawne from season 1. Now, we see that Zoom is taken from his death, right? However, the idea that this Thawne, this Eobard Thawne, is the one from season 1. On 1, he already knows that Eddie killed himself to stop him, which, if he was taken from season 1 just before his death, maybe he would know. I don't know. But also later, he attacks Chester, and he knows that they're together. They go out together, and he knows about Nash Wells, and I'm like, wait, no. Season 1, Thawne wouldn't know about that. So Eric Wallace, you're full of shit when he said that's the Thawne. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a Thawne. I don't know. And then again, they're in a negative speed force, so it could have been at any point. Could have been when he was hiding in there, but it would have to be from the point that he destroyed, exploded, whatever. So we have the showdown, and we have on the villain side, obviously we have all the villains. The 5 villains. You got Cobalt Blue leading the way with Zoom, Reverse Flash, Savitar, and Godspeed. And the whole thing was, they're taken before they died or whatever. That copy No Way Home, but people, some people are questioning, well, Godspeed didn't die. Well, apparently, we found out Godspeed dies in 2052. So, yeah, so there's that correction. He does die in 2052. And I heard some people in live chats going, oh, how did he grow a beard? Because he didn't have a beard. Well, you don't know if he was, if he was taken before he died, then he was from 2052. Which, I don't know. So he must get out at some point before then and jets Back to the Future, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, itchy legs. So yeah, and then on the other side you have Nara, XS, and Cecile or Virtue, and she's got her suit, even though she didn't have the suit till 2049, but she's got it here in the present time. But okay, and you have Allegra, who has a suit, and despite there was a whole storyline about Chester getting her a suit, she just has it, and I don't know when he got her the suit, but and Chilblain is there, not wearing a shirt as per usual, and then there is Keon. And so there's a whole fight ski thing going on. And I was trying to remember who's fighting who, but honestly, they were going so freaking fast. All I know is that Zoom was being fought by Keon and the Shirtless Wonder. And then Barry, of course, was fighting with Cobalt Blue. And I think Nora fought Savitar. They call back to you might have do this. And he goes through her, but she phases it through her so it doesn't kill her. And then Cecile takes on Godspeed. And these don't last long because Jay shows up as Cobalt Blue is just gonna destroy Jitters and I'm thinking, why does Jitters always gotta be destroyed? But what happened? Jay shows up and steals his speed, which apparently he says is from his Earth 90 counterpart, which I don't remember that. Because I don't remember that being in this iteration, but that could have been in the 90s show. Apparently they played the 90s theme when Jay Garrick showed up. I didn't catch it, and I liked the 90s Flash, but yeah. And so Thun doesn't have speed. He said, "I'll just take it." He basically he destroys all the other variants, the other evil speedsters he brought back. He just takes them and sucks up their energy, and it goes into the negative speed force. I should also mention that Chester gets Emperor Palpatine lightninged by Reverse Flash, who can somehow do that, and then comes in and just gets all pissed off, and so yeah, Jay is saying, you have to stop him before he overloads. And then they're like, no, if he overloads, he'll die. Just let him die. And Bear's like, I can't do that. Eddie was a hero. I can't let him die. And so it all comes down to a talk inside the Speed Force. And I feel like people are going to complain about this. I feel like they're going to... once again, Flash doesn't fight. He just talks. But I feel like for this particular character, for Eddie Thawne, I think it works. Okay, I might be the only one in the world who says this, but I think it works. Because you have to respect the legacy of Eddie Thawne. Eddie Thawne himself. And if you have him be a straight up villain to where he just, it would be repeating what they did with Reverse Flash, and as they said, he could just find another avatar. But also, if he becomes full-fledged villain and just starts doing everything, and then Flash is forced to kill him to stop him, it takes away a sacrifice beginning of season 1, which bringing back the Reverse Flash also does that. But, it also, he died a hero. And you don't take away from that. He still died a hero. And I don't know what happens to him after that. Does he just gone? I don't know. He takes off the crystal and destroys it. But I don't know. We don't see him again. So I don't know what happens with him. Is he just stuck in the reverse speed force? Negative speed force? Whatever. I know they say he's still the Avatar, so maybe he's just living in the speed force. Another thing I want to complain about is that despite the fact, Nora kept saying, the negative speed force. The negative forces are attacking the regular forces. And we're doing all we can, but it's it's not, we can't fight. We don't see that. Like, why not bring back Bashir and what's her face and Mr. Snappy Snap, Dion. Why not bring them back? We don't get this. They're not in entire season. I was hoping they would show up, but nothing. I know we already got like negative and positive Speed Forces last year, but I don't know. You just never brought them back. So, yeah. Crisis averted, right? So now we got wrap-up stuff. So, Iris gives birth. And, okay, I had a joke. They're like, congratulations. And I'm like, it's a boy. What? No, that was a joke. It's still Nora. And they do have it, because Nora is there, grown Nora. She's like, wait, is it messing with the timeline from here? They're like, nah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And then later, she's holding herself. I'm like, that's got to be a paradox thing, right? You're holding yourself as a baby. That's like, I've seen that before where you cannot do that. I don't know. It's really weird. But, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention this episode started with, and I called it because I said to myself, I wonder if they're going to start it with that line. Okay, what I'm about to tell you, to understand what I'm about to tell you, you have to believe in the impossible, which is how they start off the first episode. It starts with the clouds. It's like the first episode. And at the end, they frame it like he's telling it baby Nora, but I feel like that's not what he was doing from the very beginning of the series, because one, she didn't exist yet, and two, a lot of things changed from the first episode to now. He's talking to Oliver in that first episode. That's who he's talking to. Although there's more talking in the next episode, which is still confusing. But anyway, yeah. So, Joe is there, and they're having a whole party. No, not yet. While they're in the waiting room, Timeless Wells shows up out of nowhere. I was like, yo! He shows up and he tells Keone, it's over, and so you're gonna have to, go. You're gonna have to ascend. She's like, yes, I know. I want to say goodbye to my friends first. So we find out Chester survived because he has, I don't remember what they said it was, black hole energy, basically. When he was introduced in season 6, he had the black holes, and so he has that energy in him still, so he's a meta. And I went, wait, till the finale to make him a meta? I feel like he could have come in handy in many other stuff as a meta, but now he's a meta, and I don't know, but there it is. There's a scene. I want to call out the scene specifically because y'all fucked up, all right? So, Iris and Joe are talking, right? He's like, no, baby girl anymore. She goes, always be baby girl. And baby Nora starts crying. So he's like, oh, I can date this. And he starts singing to her. And then, basically, Iris starts showing flashbacks to all the lovey-dovey moments between her and Barry. However, they show the scene where her and Barry kiss on the waterfront as the weather wizard, Martin, is turning that tsunami to him. And I went, wait, no, she wouldn't remember that. She wouldn't remember that because that timeline was erased. So how is she remembering that? No, I understand what they were doing, but they should have thought about it before they put it in there because she wouldn't remember that. I'm just saying, that doesn't make any sense if she remembers that. No, Barry would. She wouldn't. And even if it's like, oh, he told me about that one time, she still wouldn't be able to visualize it in her head. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But, yeah. And so, Keone says goodbye to everyone, and she ascends with all this fire and wind and stuff. And then, as I freaking called it, you go back to one of the first episodes of this, when they showed Keone for the first time, and I said, people keep saying Caitlyn's dead, but I'm telling you right now, she's not dead. I was right. She brought Caitlyn back. She's not dead. And people say, oh, I'm just saying Caitlyn's dead. And they're not, sitting and cheering about Caitlyn being dead. And now they do act like just, oh, I never thought I'd see you again type thing. But still, I knew she wasn't dead. So, yeah, and I didn't bring Frost back, but that's fine. I thought maybe she'd be like, "Well, I didn't come alone," and she's like, she can turn back into Frost again, like in season 3 type thing. But no, she's just Caitlyn. She's Caitlyn again. And to be fair, they do reference because Barry talks to her at this party they're having, and he's like, "The way I left things." She's like, basically the apology and the talk and everything, and yeah. And you're like, "What's an apology? Popeye. You owe me an apology, but he said apology. That's how I say it." So, yeah, she apologized, and they apologized, whatever. Really? You're making noise right now? Let me get on with this, and you can have your treat, okay? Okay. Over there, grumping and groaning like a grumpus. Anyway. Yeah, so, yeah, basically everyone's there. Oh, finally, about goddamn time, Joe West. He proposes to Cecile. It's about damn time. It took you, what, 5 seasons? When it started in like season 5, or season 4? Season 4, because she gives birth. With the vote. Yeah, so they have a relationship since like season 3. And she gives birth to your baby. And you still don't propose to her. At this point, I was just assuming they got married off screen. But no. About freaking time, Joe West. Jesus Christ. But yeah, he proposes to her. And yeah, it's a happy moment. What else is there? Another something. When Cecile was confronting Godspeed, I felt like it should have been Bart. But I understand that Jordan Fisher had Broadway stuff, stage performances, so he couldn't do it. I understand that. And then, Carlos Valdez says he wasn't going to be in the finale, which everybody was wanting him to show up. And yeah, and even though like the synopsis said friends new and old, people were like, "Oh, I wonder what an old friends." The only real old friend is like Jay. He shows up, but everyone else, there's really no new. I guess new you could say Keone and Chilblain, and then there's the rest of the people. I don't know. Maybe people were hoping for more cameos in this finale, but I thought it was fine for what it was. They don't over bloated, and I thought that okay, of the 2 big bad villains we got this season, I feel like Cobalt Blue was handled better. Again, though, had you spent the entire season developing the Cobalt Blue arc and going in, because I've said this before, that the way Eric Wallace has handled stuff since season 6 when he took over is he doesn't understand. He wants to do the graphic novel formats, right? But when you do that, there's some casualties in your storytelling, because instead of having one story, one villain, and when you have fillers, you still have some kind of connection to it. Like, take when he was the showrunner for season 2 of Arrow, right? You had the Brother Blood stuff in the first part of the season, but there was still stuff connected to, the eventual villain of Deathstroke. There were those connections. You had the flashbacks. There was connections all over. When you have the graphic novels, you have one villain, pointless filler, and then another villain. And the filler is the worst filler because we're not interested, because you're telling secluded episodic stories that aren't connected to the overall story, except for maybe trying to further Keone, and don't even do that properly. Like, who wants hey, we finished the first villain of the story, let's have a story where Barry starts to age rapidly, but we don't see it because we can't afford the special effects makeup to make him old. Yeah, that was last season, but still, like, I think that's the big issue with this season overall, and the season that Eric Wallace has been the showrunner overall, is because he wants to do this graphic novel stuff, but unlike when he did it in Arrow Season 2, he's not linking the two in a way where, like, these villains aren't connected, like Deathstroke and Blood were. They're separate villains, and so then you have to put the fillers in the middle, and it doesn't like I said, if you went from one villain to another, like the first half is like the first half. You have 13 episodes. The first 6 episodes are the Red Death. The next 7, or maybe you have 6 and 6, and then the one in the middle that's filler is like a transitional episode. But you still have the threads, like they just survived that, and then there's something else coming, and then boom, the next 6 episodes. You know, that sort of thing. But I feel, I think I've said this a lot, but I feel like Cobalt Blue was the better handled one here. I had the right story elements to it, and he was a better villain. And despite some people might complain about how he was defeated, I think it worked. But yeah, this is the end of the Flash, and Eric Wallace said that he combined elements of Angel, Lost, and The Office finales. No, I haven't seen The Office's finale. From what I heard, a whole bunch of people coming back was the thing, so there's that, you know, Evil Speedsters, and then Nora and Timeless Wells and all that. And the Angel stuff, which is probably one of the most frustrating cliffhangers ever. I think the only thing they have was Illyria, which was Keone, but she doesn't even turn back into Fred at that point. Well, she pretends to be Fred just one last time for Wes. Spoiler alert for that finale, because I have not reviewed that season yet. And at this point, I'm going to have to re-review everything just so I have a better format for everything. So I may have to watch through Angel again, which I could do. It's something I would like to do. But I'd have to watch through Buffy first, and I have to redo the Buffy Season 1 review and go through the episodes. So, yeah, but those seasons are hard to go through because you got to watch one episode at a time. You're like, well, that's what you usually do. No, you have to go to the menu, click on an episode, goes to another menu, click that, watch the episode, and then you got to go back, and then it goes back to the menu, and you got to do it all over again. You can't play off. That's my issue with those seasons, is you have to keep going back to the menu. But, yeah. And then Lost. I didn't catch any Lost in this because people were saying, well, what, Lost? They're not going to do that Barry was in a coma the whole time. And I'm like, no, that would be stupid. Oh, I forgot. There was one last thing. He does start to tell the story to Nora, like I said, but he does change. He's like, he was chosen, how he's going to choose others. And so he shoots lightning into the air, and we see Avery Ho, confirmed as Avery Ho now, from the episode of season 6, I think it was. Wasn't it? Where Bart and Nora went. Season 6 or season 7? 7. Whatever. Was it last season? Whatever. Whenever she showed up, we see her again, Avery Ho. Max Mercury, which was not at that last season, and he says Jess Chambers, because there's already a Jessie in this universe, Jess Chambers. And wouldn't it have been some Asian actress? Would it have killed them if he said Jessie Chambers and it was Violet Bean? That would have been a nice nod. Like, ooh, you know, because the other version of her died, and now this Earth version of her is Jessie Chambers. That would have been a big, you know, people are like, yes, finally. But it's some Asian actress who I don't know. But, I don't know. It would have been something. But, yeah, I enjoyed the finale. I thought it was good. Apparently he's getting restless over here, so I'm going to say I did enjoy it. So, yeah. I am going to do a season review on this eventually. Next week sometime. When I have free time, I will do it. I'll be home tomorrow, Thursday, but I don't know if I'll put on any videos. And then I won't be home then till Monday after 3. And again, I don't know if I'll do any videos, but, you know. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Flash series finale? And the way it ended, like, it didn't have a finality to it, per se. Because we know that the Team Flash are going to have more adventures. We know from the last episode that they do fight the Chronarch. So, we know that it's ever continuing thing, you know. So, it's not like a finality. I mean, some people were saying, "Oh, the Flash is going to end up being the lightning that struck himself." Some people were still hoping it would end with him disappearing. And the more and more I thought about that, the more and more it wouldn't make any sense because Bart still needs to be born. So, yeah, that, you know. Oh, Nora does say, if you think it was chaotic when, uh, during my birth, wait till, uh, wait till Bart's due date. And the thing is, we're not going to know that unless they continue in comics, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.